I have unsealed the way before you, and nothing in heaven or on earth has the power to lock it again, for the sound of my decree has already shaken the hinges of what once held you back, and you must understand with urgency that this is not a moment for doubt or hesitation but a divine command to move forward, because the path you have cried for in the silence of your tears is now wide open and secured by my authority. And I tell you that even if every enemy rises at once, even if voices of accusation gather like a flood, they will find themselves powerless before the seal I have placed upon this opening, for I myself have declared it permanent and irrevocable. And you must see with eyes of faith that no government, no principality, no unseen darkness can close what I have determined to remain open. So rise quickly from the place where you once sat in delay and understand that the hour is critical, the moment is sharp, and the opportunity before you is burning with heavenly fire. And if you wait too long, you will feel the pull of distractions trying to draw you back into the shadows of yesterday. But I am shouting now in your spirit, move, 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 for I have prepared this doorway not as an ornament to be admired, but as a passage to be entered, and I did not labor to break the bolts and chains so you could linger in hesitation. I did it so you could run through with boldness and claim what belongs to you. And this urgency must grip your heart because many do not see that their prayers have already collided with my answer, and the open doors that answer, and still they stand staring, still they analyze, still they calculate. But I tell you the door will not remain in question. It is already open, already available, already marked with your name, and the enemy knows it too, which is why the voices of fear will grow louder in this hour, whispering that you are not ready, not worthy, not strong enough. Yet I speak louder. You are chosen, you are positioned, you are equipped, and you must step in now, for delay is dangerous, and hesitation allows the enemy to sow lies where I have spoken truth, and you must break agreement with hesitation, break covenant with fear, break alliance with shame, because none of these can survive beyond the doorway. They will dissolve the moment you pass through, but if you keep clinging to them, you will remain standing outside while destiny waits inside. So hear me. The locks are shattered, the seals are broken, the gatekeepers have been silenced, and the King himself has gone ahead to secure the passage, and the only question remaining is whether you will walk through, for I will not drag you. I will not force you. I will not beg you. I have done my part. I have opened what no man could open, and now the weight falls on your choice. So with urgency I am calling, with fire I am summoning, with compassion I am urging. Do not allow this moment to slip. Do not surrender it to apathy. Do not look back to see if others approve, for I am the one who approves you. I am the one who validates you. I am the one who goes with you. And if I have said the door is open, then it is open. And if I have said no one can close it, then even the strongest hand will fail against it. So walk now, beloved, for every delay is costly, but every step forward brings you closer to the fulfillment that has been waiting for this precise moment in history. The chains that once kept you bound have fallen, and you must realize with sharp urgency that what once restricted your steps has lost all strength over you, for the shackles that gripped your hands, the cords that tied your progress, the invisible weights that made you feel powerless in yesterday's battles have now shattered under the force of my command, and I need you to discern that this is not merely freedom for the sake of relief, but liberation that propels you forward into territory you never thought you could reach, because every link that held you in cycles of fear, failure, regret, and delay has been broken in this very hour. And I do not want you to treat this lightly, for this is not the work of man, nor the achievement of your own striving, but the direct intervention of my Spirit tearing apart the barriers you could never remove on your own. And you must walk with the urgency of someone who knows the restraints are gone, for if you continue to behave as though you are still chained, you will miss the full weight of this release. And I am telling you now that the invisible prison you lived in has collapsed. The bars no longer exist, and the guards who stood mocking your cries have vanished into nothingness. So why do you still stand there looking as though nothing has shifted? Why do you still rehearse the old memories of being trapped when I have already made escape possible? Why do you still hear the clinking of chains in your imagination when in truth they are already dust under your feet? And you must choose to think, speak, and act as one who is no longer bound. Because if you carry the posture of captivity into a moment of freedom, you will sabotage the very gift I placed in your hands. So awaken now, lift your head, Stretch your hands, and step boldly as one delivered, for this freedom is not partial, not temporary, not fragile. It is complete. It is final. It is secured by the blood that cannot be reversed. And if you can grasp this reality, you will never again bow to the threats of the enemy, for the fear of relapse, the terror of returning to old chains, the anxiety that what once held you might return. All of it is lies sent to intimidate you into standing still. But I declare to you that the locks are melted, the ropes are burned, the weights are gone, and no force on earth or in hell can forge them again to hold you captive. So rejoice with trembling urgency, because this is not simply about your comfort. It is about your destiny. It is about your assignment. It is about the people waiting on the other side of your obedience who cannot be reached if you choose to remain acting like a prisoner when you have been made free. And the enemy knows this, which is why he will whisper that you are not truly free, that you are still carrying hidden chains. But remember, what I say is stronger than what he accuses, and my declaration over you is louder than his lies. So step forward in the authority of one who has been rescued for a purpose. Step as one who has been transformed. Step as one who is no longer under the domination of what once ruled your nights and tormented your days, because time is too short to pretend that nothing has changed, and eternity is too weighty to live as though you are still bound, and this hour is too critical to let your deliverance go unused. So take a breath of victory, take a step of faith, take hold of this moment, for you are free, and your freedom must be used immediately to cross through what has now been opened before you. No voice of opposition, no scheme of darkness, no barrier of men can shut what my hand has swung wide, and you must understand with seriousness that there is an authority at work here which outweighs every decree of those who speak against you. For I have not given permission to their judgments to stand. I have silenced the tongues that rise in accusation. I have dismantled the strategies designed in secret places to keep you from advancing, and I have crushed the obstacles that seem too heavy for you to climb, because when I declare a door open, even the most violent storms cannot force it closed, and when I pronounce a season of movement, no power, no government, no hidden counsel of darkness can issue a command that overrides mine. And this is why you must hold your ground with urgency, because there will still be noise, there will still be voices, there will still be attempts to discourage you, but all of it will prove powerless, and you must not let the echo of their words cause you to step back from what I have already secured. For if you measure progress by the loudness of opposition, you will believe the lie that resistance has power, but resistance only proves that advancement is happening, and I am telling you right now that those who speak against you, those who rise against you, those who plot behind walls, they cannot touch what I have sealed, and if you believe my word above theirs, you will walk with unshakable courage into what I have placed before you. For my decree is not fragile, not temporary, not conditional on men's approval. It is established in the eternal realm, written by my hand, enforced by my spirit, and guarded by my angels. So do not tremble when whispers come, do not collapse when rumors spread, do not retreat when pressure mounts, because none of these can undo what I have set in motion. And even when you hear laughter mocking you, or see threats rising to intimidate you, remember that I sit above all thrones and all dominions, and I have spoken, and what I have spoken stands forever. So stand firm and keep moving forward with urgency, for the very strength of your enemies is already withering under my breath, and the foundation of their schemes is already crumbling beneath their feet. And while they gather thinking they can hinder you, they will soon scatter because I am shaking their plans apart. And the more they attempt to resist, the more I will reveal their weakness. The more they attempt to block, the more I will prove that my authority has no rival. And in this moment you must carry within you the confidence that what hath been opened cannot be undone, not by fear, not by slander, not by threats, not by numbers, not by power, because when I act, who can reverse it? And when I command, who can silence it? And when I lift you into a place I have prepared, who can pull you down? None can. For I am the one who called you. I am the one who sustains you. I am the one who vindicates you. And my verdict cancels every word of condemnation. So let this certainty burn in you now. No voice matters above mine. No plan stands against mine. No wall can stand before mine. And nothing has the authority to seal what I have chosen to unseal forever. You were pressed against walls for so long, But now the wall has become a doorway into new life, and this transformation must be seen with urgency, because what once looked like a dead end was never meant to destroy you but to prepare you for the sudden unveiling of my power. And though you felt the weight of confinement, though you thought you were cornered with no escape, though you believed the structure around you was permanent, I was all along reshaping what resisted you into an opening that could carry you into a dimension you never imagined. And this is why you must not despise the season where you felt squeezed. For the very pressure that made you cry out in despair has now been converted into the very access point that propels you forward. And I am declaring that the same place where you thought it was over will be remembered as the very place where it truly began. For I have turned the obstacle into an entrance, and I have shifted the weight that pushed against you into momentum that thrusts you into your destiny. And you must perceive it quickly, because hesitation in this hour is dangerous. The time to act is now. For the moment you step through this redefined barrier, everything shifts, and I do not want you to miss the gravity of this reality. What was once your greatest frustration is now your passage to fulfillment. What was once your greatest trial is now your access to transformation. What was once your deepest pain is now the bridge into your purpose. And you must let go of bitterness toward the walls of yesterday. For if you cling to anger about the past confinement, you will not celebrate the gift of the doorway it has become. So release the resentment. Let go of the tears tied to that season, and walk forward with urgency, because the walls are no longer your prison. They are your entrance, and I will cause those who watched you struggle against immovable barriers to now see you walking through what they swore could never move. And their astonishment will testify to my glory. For I have done this not only for you but also as a sign to others that I can turn the hardest blockages into highways of breakthrough. And as you move forward, you will discover that what seemed to restrict you was actually guiding you toward alignment with my perfect timing, because had you escaped earlier, you would have run in the wrong direction. But now the opening leads exactly where you need to go, and this urgency must grip your spirit, because the opening will not be wasted. It will not sit idle. It demands action, and I have already prepared what lies beyond. So when you step through, you will find provision waiting, you will find clarity unfolding, you will find relationships aligned, you will find opportunities positioned. For I never open without preparing the other side, and that is why I am calling you now with fire in my voice. Stop staring at the wall that once held you. Stop analyzing the cracks where you once bled. Stop reliving the suffocation of that space, and instead recognize that the entire structure has been converted into an archway of destiny, and your assignment is not to stay and question. It is to step boldly forward, because your hesitation dishonors the miracle I have just performed. But your obedience proves your trust, and trust will unlock even greater things beyond this doorway, and this is the urgency of this moment. Act swiftly. Step confidently, for the wall has become your way, and this way leads directly into the life you have been prepared to live. This opening is not temporary. It is eternal, because my authority secures it, and you must let this truth strike your heart with urgency. For many doors in life seem fragile, many opportunities appear uncertain, many paths look like they can vanish overnight. But what I have unlocked for you carries permanence, not the shifting instability of man's promises, but the unshakable certainty of heaven's decree. And this is why you must walk without fear of losing it, for no season can erode what I have fastened, no enemy can undo what I have cemented, no circumstance can weaken what I have established. And the reason I emphasize this now is because the adversary will try to whisper that what you see today may be gone tomorrow, that you should hurry and panic before it closes again. But I tell you with all seriousness that my word is not like sand that slips away. It is like a mountain that cannot be moved, and the door you see open is not subject to expiration. It has been ratified by eternal blood, and nothing can cancel what I have spoken over your destiny. So step forward without the anxiety of what if it ends, because it will not end. I have marked it as everlasting, and when I stamp something with eternity, it carries no timeline of men. It does not expire with the turning of calendars. It does not weaken with the passing of years. It stands as sure as my throne, and this is what makes it urgent for you to embrace, not because the door will vanish, but because time wasted outside of it cannot be recovered. And though the opening remains, your days are precious, your hours are sacred, your moments are weighty, and if you delay in fear or doubt, you do not lose the door, but you lose the time meant to be lived inside of what I have prepared. So I urge you, Move swiftly, not out of panic but out of reverence for the gift of opportunity that is eternal in its nature but limited in your earthly span. And know this: my authority surrounds this opening like an unbreakable shield. It cannot be breached by forces of darkness. It cannot be shaken by storms of chaos. It cannot be stolen by voices of envy. It cannot be reversed by courts of men. It is locked by my sovereignty in the open position, and nothing created has the ability to close what I have commanded to stay open. And if you can truly grasp this, fear will lose its grip on your decisions, hesitation will no longer hold you captive, and the insecurity of wondering whether blessings will last will vanish, because you will know with confidence that permanence has been written over this door, and permanence is what sets you free to walk boldly without glancing over your shoulder, and permanence is what allows you to plant your feet without wondering if the ground will collapse beneath you, and permanence is what empowers you to build, to sow, to invest, to dream, because you are not building on shifting sand but on a foundation that will outlast every trial. And as you carry this awareness, you will notice the fear of instability breaking off you, the anxiety of sudden loss disappearing, the dread of collapse melting away, for you will stand in the calm certainty that if I say eternal, it is eternal. If I say secured, it is secured. If I say unshakable, it is unshakable. And this is the moment you must decide to trust not in what your eyes see but in what my voice has declared, because my voice is the anchor that makes this door not just an opening but a covenant that guarantees you entry, guarantees you safety, guarantees you purpose, and guarantees you destiny, and this covenant cannot be broken because I myself uphold it. So walk now, child, not with trembling hands but with confident stride, for the opening before you will outlast every challenge, outlast every storm, outlast every enemy, outlast every doubt, and you must seize it with urgency because while the door remains eternal, your calling requires immediate action. I am placing you where fear cannot follow and where failure cannot break you, and you must grasp the seriousness of this moment because what I am positioning you into is not fragile ground but fortified territory, where the shadows that once tormented your mind will lose their grip and the mistakes that once defined you will have no power to dictate your tomorrow. For I am lifting you beyond the reach of those patterns that once kept you circling in despair, and I am anchoring you in a place where courage thrives and strength multiplies. And though in past seasons you felt stalked by fear at every turn, this new place I am assigning you to is inaccessible to those same terrors, for I myself have built a covering that shields you, a refuge that surrounds you, and the enemy who once roared against you will find no doorway to enter here. And I need you to see how urgent this is because too many still try to carry the weight of their past battles into the new ground, and they live as though danger still holds authority over them. But I tell you now with fire in my voice, those things cannot enter where I am sending you. The anxieties that whispered in the night cannot climb into this higher place. The memories of defeat cannot cross into this field of victory. For I have drawn a boundary line around you that makes you untouchable to the fear that once chained your steps, and even failure itself, which once seemed like your companion, will have no permission to speak here, for I have written success into the soil of this new position. And though trials may still come, though battles may still rise, their outcome will no longer be destruction, for I have decreed that even what appears like loss will turn into growth, and even what seems like setback will transform into progress, because the environment I am assigning you to carries redemption in its very atmosphere, and you must believe with urgency that this is not by accident but by design, for I have chosen to hide you in a place beyond the reach of what once terrified you. And if you doubt this, you will continue to look over your shoulder as though fear can still find you. But if you trust me, you will see that the very shadows that haunted you are powerless in this new light, and I am urging you to step with boldness because hesitation allows fear to echo, but boldness silences fear forever. And I am declaring to you that failure has lost its grip on your name, for I have removed the labels others placed on you. I have erased the scars of repeated defeat. I have shattered the cycle of rising and falling, and I have brought you into a dimension where falling does not end you, where weakness does not disqualify you, where even your vulnerability becomes a testimony of my strength. And this is the place I am planting you in now, a field where fear dissolves like mist and failure collapses like dust. And you must walk in it with urgency because if you delay, you will keep replaying old fears in a land where they no longer exist, and that dishonors the freedom I purchased for you. So shake off the echoes of old terrors, silence the voices of regret, and take hold of the certainty that I am placing you in ground where nothing can break you, for I am your shield, I am your fortress, I am your sustainer, and I have decreed that fear will not follow and failure will not destroy, for you are being planted in the unshakable place of my victory. The enemies who mocked your waiting will watch you walk boldly through this threshold, and I want you to feel the weight of this because for so long you endured the ridicule of those who said nothing would ever change. You bore the sting of whispers that labeled you forgotten. You carried the humiliation of eyes that watched for your downfall. Yet I tell you now that those same voices will become silent witnesses to your rising, and the very people who laughed while you prayed, who scoffed while you waited, who doubted while you held on in faith, will now stand in stunned silence as I bring you forward through what I have opened. And this is not about revenge. It is about vindication. It is about my glory displayed in you. For I am showing them that no word spoken against you can erase what I have promised, and no laughter at your expense can cancel the destiny I carved before you were born. And there is an urgency here because many of you have been so wounded by the mockery that you almost gave up. But hear me. The ridicule was never the end. It was the stage being set for the unveiling, and I am about to flip the script so drastically that the same mouths that cursed you will not be able to speak when they see what I am doing, and I am declaring that I will make you a testimony before them. And though they tried to bury your faith under criticism, they will be forced to acknowledge that my hand lifted you, and you must not shrink back in this moment, for when I open the way and call you forward, you cannot hide in shame, as if their words still have power. You must step with boldness, you must rise with courage, you must move with confidence, because their disbelief will not stop what I am doing, and their mockery has only made the demonstration greater. And soon those who shook their heads will watch as you carry the blessing that once seemed impossible. Those who thought you would crumble will see you flourishing. Those who whispered that your prayers were wasted will see every single one answered. And I am saying this now because you must not let bitterness poison this moment. Do not walk through the door looking back with vengeance. Walk through with your head lifted high, knowing that vindication belongs to me, and I am the one making it clear before all eyes that I never abandoned you. I never ignored you. I never forgot you, and I have turned every moment of waiting, every second of humiliation, every tear shed under ridicule into the fuel for this season of unveiling. So rejoice even now because what was meant to break your spirit will end up proving your faith, and those who once doubted will have no choice but to recognize my hand. And though they may never admit it with words, their silence as they watch you step into fulfillment will speak louder than any laughter they hurled at you before. For I have set this stage so that my glory shines, and you will see that nothing wasted in your waiting was in vain, because I will use even their ridicule to magnify my power in your life. Do not hesitate, for hesitation allows doubt to creep in. Move forward quickly, because the moment you linger at the edge of what I have already set in place, the enemy seizes the pause to plant seeds of confusion, and those seeds, if left unchecked, grow into vines that choke boldness. So I am warning you now with urgency. Hesitation is not harmless. It is dangerous. It opens the door for delay. It gives room for lies to echo louder than truth. It makes you rehearse possibilities that will never happen, and every second you stand still staring instead of stepping, you empower fear to regain ground it no longer owns. So act without wavering, cross without waiting for another confirmation, step without demanding further proof, because my word itself is enough. And when I say go, it is already secure. When I say move, it is already prepared. When I say enter, it is already yours, and I do not need to repeat myself for my command to carry authority. So hear me now. Urgency is not panic. It is obedience. Urgency is not recklessness. It is faith. Urgency is not impatience. It is alignment. And you must embrace it because hesitation will disguise itself as wisdom, making you think you need to analyze more, wait longer, ask for clearer signs. But the truth is that wisdom was already released when I opened the door, and when the way is unlocked, the only wise thing left to do is to step through. And if you delay, you risk standing outside while others who hear my call with immediacy will enter and reap what you were invited into. So silence the voices telling you to pause, reject the pull to overthink, resist the urge to consult fear disguised as caution, and step with confidence, for forward is the only safe direction now. And know this, Hesitation has cost many their destiny. Hesitation has robbed countless of their moment. Hesitation has stolen from generations. But I do not want that for you, which is why I am pressing you so strongly now, because hesitation does not simply waste time. It empowers the very darkness I have already stripped of authority. So do not return power to what I defeated. Do not hand victory back to what I crushed. Do not give permission to lies I have already silenced. Move, my child. Move with fire in your steps. Move with clarity in your vision. Move with certainty in your heart. Because momentum is holy, and obedience is your weapon. And as you keep moving, every shadow will shrink, every lie will dissolve, every resistance will crumble, for my presence is not behind you in the pause, it is ahead of you in the motion. And if you will trust me enough to act without delay, you will see doors swing wider, paths grow clearer, provision multiply faster, and strength increase with every step. So do not underestimate the urgency of this moment. Hesitation is a thief, but obedience is a crown. And if you move now, you will wear that crown with joy, because I will meet you in the forward motion. I will guide you as you step, and I will show you that quick obedience carries rewards greater than you ever imagined. What you will find beyond this doorway is not just blessing, but assignment. And you must sense the gravity of that, because what lies ahead is not a lounge for comfort, but a field prepared for action. A realm where gifts lying dormant within you will be awakened, where capacities you never suspected you carried will be activated, where hidden dreams you once shelved will surge forward as living purpose, and this requires you to step through with a mindset of stewardship rather than consumption. For what I am unfolding on the other side is not a mere reward for enduring pain, but a commission to influence, to build, to heal, to lead, to restore, to release what has been deposited in you for such a time as this. And you must enter knowing that every provision waiting there is attached to a responsibility. Every favor carries a function. Every opportunity is linked to an impact beyond yourself. And I am calling you now to shift your posture from a receiver to a releaser, from one who simply prays for change to one who carries change, because the ground you are about to walk into has been tilled not only for your joy but for your service. And if you think this new season is merely about enjoying comfort after hardship, you will miss the magnitude of why I opened this door. For it is not a retirement from warfare but a redeployment into a greater mission with higher authority and deeper reach. And you must approach it with urgency, because the assignments waiting there are time-sensitive. They involve people whose windows of breakthrough are now. They involve communities whose deliverance is connected to your yes. They involve stories that cannot be rewritten if you delay. And that is why I am pressing you to prepare your heart as you cross, to lay down selfish ambition, to release entitlement, to step as a servant leader who knows the weight of destiny, because this is not just about your life improving, it is about lives around you being transformed through what you carry. And I have already orchestrated divine appointments on the other side. Faces you do not yet know but who are praying for what you will bring. Doors you have not yet seen, but which are ready to receive your obedience. And when you step in, you will feel a surge of purpose unlike anything you have known before, because this environment will draw out everything I planted in you long ago. It will summon the courage, the creativity, the compassion, the wisdom that were forged in your years of waiting, and you will realize that none of the pain was wasted, because it equipped you to carry this assignment with humility and power. And you must hold this understanding tightly. Blessing without mission becomes stagnation, but blessing tied to mission becomes multiplication. And I have not opened this passage so you can sit idle, but so you can function fully. And this is why I am urging you with intensity now. Do not cross this threshold expecting ease without engagement. Cross it expecting fulfillment through responsibility. Cross it expecting joy through impact. Cross it expecting miracles through action. Because I will anoint you to accomplish more than you believed possible. And I will surround you with those aligned to help you execute the vision. But you must enter ready to work, ready to build, ready to pour out. For in this next dimension, every resource you touch will carry kingdom weight. Every connection you meet will hold eternal significance. Every step you take will echo into generations. And you will discover that the real reward is not the comfort, but the calling. Not the ease, but the influence. Not the applause, but the assignment. And this is the hour to embrace that truth. For what awaits you is larger than your survival. It is the very reason you were born. And it begins the moment you cross. I have aligned resources, people, and timing to meet you the moment you cross, and you must grasp how strategic this alignment is. For nothing in this unfolding season will be accidental, nothing will be left to chance. Every detail has been carefully orchestrated so that when you step into this new space, provision will already be in place, companions will already be waiting, opportunities will already be positioned, and the timing will be exact. Not early, not late, but perfect, because I am the master of alignment, and I've synchronized heaven's calendar with your obedience, so that every step you take collides with what I have prepared. And this is why hesitation is dangerous, because alignment is not theory. It is precise, and the moment you step forward, you will discover that appointments you thought were random are in fact divine setups, that doors you thought were locked will swing open at just the right instant, that helpers you never knew existed will appear carrying answers you have long prayed for, and you must understand with urgency that none of this was coincidence. I have been working behind the scenes, weaving together threads you could not see, connecting moments across years, aligning people across cities, moving circumstances across nations, all so that when this door opened, everything would converge, and now it has, and I need you to see that what looks like sudden blessing is actually long-prepared strategy. What feels like unexpected favor is actually the fruit of years of orchestration, and the moment you walk in you will realize how carefully every detail has been managed, because I am not a God of chaos, I am a God of order, and I've set the stage for you to succeed in this assignment, and you must seize it now, for timing is critical, and though my resources are unlimited, the appointed moment carries a weight that cannot be ignored, and if you delay, you risk stepping into the right place at the wrong time, and timing matters as much as location. So I am urging you to obey quickly, to step boldly, to move decisively, because I have already gone ahead of you, preparing hearts to receive you, preparing leaders to favor you, preparing systems to bend in your direction, preparing circumstances to align with your obedience, and even opposition that once stood strong will now serve as a stage to display my provision. And you must know this: the resources waiting are not just financial, they are relational, emotional, spiritual, intellectual. Everything you need has been aligned. People with wisdom you lack, people with keys you don't carry, people with access you don't hold. All are waiting on the other side, and the moment you enter, these connections will converge like pieces of a puzzle locking into place, and you will marvel at how nothing was wasted, how even the delays of the past were part of the alignment, for had you arrived earlier, the people would not have been ready, the resources would not have been gathered, the timing would not have matured. But now, in this precise hour, everything is synchronized, and this is why you must act urgently, because when I align heaven's resources with earth's timing, it is a window that must be seized, and I tell you with all seriousness that you will not need to strive, you will not need to force, you will not need to manipulate, for alignment means things fall into place by my hand, not by your struggle, and you will see doors swing without your pushing, you will see favor flow without your begging, you will see pathways open without your striving, and you will know that this is the fruit of alignment, and you must step in quickly because alignment does not wait for hesitation. It rewards immediate obedience, and I have aligned everything so that when you cross, you will not enter empty-handed but equipped, surrounded, supplied, and established. The season of knocking is finished. Now the season of walking in begins, and you must feel the urgency of this shift because what once required persistence in prayer, continual intercession, and unrelenting cries has now transitioned into manifestation. And if you continue acting as though you are still outside pleading for entry, you will miss the reality that you are already invited inside, for the time of waiting at the threshold is over. The handle has turned. The way has been revealed, and I am saying to you now with authority, stop knocking on doors I have already opened. Stop asking for permission I have already granted. Stop begging for access I have already provided, and rise into the maturity of faith that understands when a season has changed. For your posture must now shift from request to reception, from asking to advancing, from hoping to inhabiting, and this requires immediate action because the danger of not discerning transition is that you continue rehearsing prayers for opportunities that are no longer locked, and by doing so you remain standing outside while others step in. So I am pressing you strongly. Adjust your posture, recognize the shift, move from the rhythm of persistence into the rhythm of possession, for I am no longer testing your patience at the gate. I am calling you to stewardship inside the room. and you must not cling to the identity of one who waits. You must embrace the identity of one who builds, and this change is urgent because the knocking was necessary in its time. It forged endurance in you. It proved your hunger. It refined your character. But now it would be disobedience to keep pounding on a door that already stands open, and if you do not transition, you will live as though breakthrough never came, and I do not want you to carry the mindset of lack into the place of abundance. I do not want you to bring the mentality of denial into the atmosphere of acceptance. So I am calling you now to shift, to understand that what you once cried for is here, what you once dreamed of is before you, what you once thought was far away is already within reach, and your task now is to walk, to claim, to inhabit, to establish, because knocking seasons build faith, but walking seasons release fulfillment, and you are standing in that moment of release right now. So step through the opening with courage, begin to move as though you belong, operate as though this ground was always destined for you, because it was, and the waiting is done, the tears of knocking are done, the long nights of wondering if I hear you are finished, for I am showing you that I always heard, I always prepared, I always intended to open at the right time, and now the time is here, and you must not hesitate at the doorway as though you are unworthy. You must not linger with the hesitation of one still unsure. You must enter boldly, confidently, joyfully, knowing that I myself have ushered you in, and if I have ushered you in, no one can remove you. No one can close this access. No one can strip away this moment. So let this truth fuel your urgency. The knocking has ceased. The waiting has ended. The entry has been granted. And the only thing left is for you to walk fully into what I have ordained for you from the beginning. What was hidden behind locked gates is now revealed for your hands to take hold of, and I need you to realize the urgency of this unveiling because mysteries long concealed are being uncovered before your eyes. Treasures once kept out of reach are being placed within your grasp, and strategies once withheld are being released into your spirit. For I have not simply opened a passage for you to walk through, I have also uncovered what has been reserved for this appointed moment, and you must recognize that revelation itself is a gift. For what you see now could not have been shown earlier without crushing you. What you discern in this hour is insight tailored to your maturity, and I am laying before you realities that were once locked away, waiting for your arrival, and this requires seriousness because revelation always demands response. What is revealed must be acted upon quickly, not admired from a distance, not placed back under the cover of delay, but seized and applied. For I did not uncover treasures for you to simply stare at them. I revealed them so you could take hold, use, and multiply, and I say to you with authority, the gates that hid these resources, these truths, these assignments have been dismantled, and nothing is veiling them anymore. So rise with urgency and claim what has been revealed, because the danger in this moment is that many become so awestruck by the unveiling that they freeze, and in their hesitation others take what was meant for them. But I do not want you to lose what I am entrusting. I want you to step forward and grab hold firmly, knowing it has your name written upon it, and do not fear that it will slip away, for once revealed it belongs to you, but you must not treat it casually. You must not assume there will always be time later, for revelation comes with responsibility, and what is shown now is tied to this exact season, and if neglected it will not carry the same weight tomorrow. So I am urging you, move swiftly with what is in your hand, whether it is an idea birthed in your heart, a relationship placed before you, a door that opens into influence, a resource entrusted to you. Whatever it is, seize it, for this is your moment to move from secrecy into manifestation, from concealment into impact, and as you do, you will see how carefully I preserved these treasures until now, how I guarded them from thieves, how I kept them safe from premature exposure, how I protected them until you were ready, and now that readiness has come, I have uncovered them before you, and you must step boldly into this responsibility, because revelation wasted becomes regret, but revelation embraced becomes destiny fulfilled, and I am speaking to you urgently. Do not let your eyes linger on the wonder so long that your hands never reach to take possession. Do not let awe turn into paralysis. Let awe become fuel for action. For I am revealing what was hidden not so you can marvel but so you can manifest. And as you claim it, I will give you wisdom on how to steward it. I will show you how to multiply it. I will guide you on how to protect it, because every treasure I uncover comes with instruction. And if you listen closely, you will hear my voice directing you step by step, and nothing revealed will be wasted, nothing entrusted will be left idle, if you obey with urgency and act without hesitation. I will guard this entrance so that no thief can steal what I have prepared for you, and you must allow this assurance to stir urgency in your heart, for many worry that once they step into something new, opposition will swoop in to rob them. But I am declaring to you now that the door I have opened is under my watch, the ground you enter is under my covering, the inheritance waiting for you is under my seal, and no intruder, no pretender, no deceiver will be able to snatch away what has been appointed for your life, because I myself stand as the keeper of this threshold, and nothing crosses unless I allow it, and I have already decreed that the thieves who once circled around you will find no access here, for the blood marks this entrance, and the angelic guard surrounds it, and I am saying with intensity, do not step in trembling as though what is yours can be ripped away. Do not live in paranoia that blessing can be hijacked. Do not waste energy fearing what I have already secured, because the security of this door is not dependent on your strength. It is not dependent on your vigilance. It is held by my authority, and when I station watchmen at the gate, no scheme of the enemy can penetrate, and you must walk with confidence, knowing that provision will not be stolen, opportunity will not be snatched, relationships ordained for you will not be intercepted, assignments designed for you will not be given to another, for I have locked them to your name, and the attempt of any thief will crumble under my defense, and you must embrace this urgency now, because if you continue to live as though what I give is fragile, you will hesitate to invest fully, you will withhold your heart, you will resist building deeply, but I tell you, build boldly, plant firmly, sow fully, because nothing will be allowed to uproot what I establish in this new place, and yes, enemies may lurk, yes, adversaries may try, yes, jealous eyes may watch, but all their efforts will end in futility, because my hand is stronger, my wall is higher, my guard is impenetrable, and what I have prepared is untouchable, and I want you to understand that this is not only for your comfort, it is for your confidence, because when you know that what is yours cannot be taken, you will live free from fear, you will operate without hesitation, you will pour out fully without worrying about loss, and that freedom is essential for you to thrive in this new season, for fear of theft paralyzes, but assurance of protection empowers, and I am giving you this assurance now. Step forward with urgency, not with caution born of fear, but with boldness born of trust, because I am the shield at the door. I am the fire that surrounds. I am the keeper who does not slumber. I am the warrior who does not lose, and I have declared that no thief, no robber, no destroyer can take what I have reserved for you. So rise into this truth and move quickly, for the guarded entrance is secure, and the inheritance inside is safe, and all that remains is for you to claim it without hesitation, knowing that I will not allow it to be stolen from your hands. Even when storms rage outside, nothing will touch the security I've built inside this open place, and you must grasp this with urgency, because in the days ahead you may still hear winds howling, see waves crashing, and feel the tremor of resistance beyond the boundaries of what I have created for you. But none of it will be able to breach the sanctuary I have prepared, for I have not simply opened access and left you unprotected. I have constructed a stronghold within the very space you are entering, a shelter that cannot be shaken by external turmoil, a refuge where my presence acts as an unyielding wall, and while chaos may roar in the distance, you will find that peace reigns where I have stationed you, because the stability I am giving is not built on circumstances but on my covenant, and that covenant holds firm regardless of the shifting conditions beyond it. And I am saying this now because many assume that when breakthrough comes, all opposition vanishes. But understand this: storms may still form, winds may still blow, voices may still rise, but they cannot penetrate the shield I have established. And this realization is vital for you to move with boldness, for if you confuse noise with threat, you will retreat in fear even though no harm can reach you. So I am telling you urgently, do not be intimidated by what you hear outside. Do not be swayed by reports of trouble. Do not let the turbulence of others disturb the calm I have given you, because inside this place I have set an atmosphere of unshakable peace, and nothing external can undo it. And you must live from that security, act from that security, plan from that security. For when you know you are protected, you will dare to build, to plant, to expand, to speak without trembling, because you understand that no storm, no attack, no disruption can cross the line I have drawn. And yes, there will still be attempts to frighten you. Yes, the enemy will still send signals of danger. Yes, false alarms will try to convince you to abandon your ground. But I am giving you this word so you will not run when the noise comes. For noise is not power, appearances are not authority, and the shaking outside is powerless to affect what I have sealed inside. And this is not just about safety. It is about confidence. Confidence to move forward without constantly looking over your shoulder. Confidence to speak without wondering if retaliation will strike. Confidence to dream without fearing collapse. Because my covering is not fragile. It does not flicker with conditions. It stands as a fortress that cannot be breached. And I want you to carry this truth as you act, because without it you will hesitate to fully inhabit what I am giving. But with it you will step boldly, rest deeply, work joyfully, and sleep peacefully, knowing that storms may rage but cannot reach, opposition may plot but cannot penetrate, darkness may gather but cannot enter. For I have placed you in a space where my peace is your environment, my strength is your wall, my promise is your floor, and my glory is your ceiling, and nothing can tear that down. So move quickly into it, build fully within it, and let the outside noise become a reminder that what I have given you is truly untouchable. Do not carry yesterday's failures through the threshold. Leave them at the ground behind you, because this new realm cannot be entered while dragging the remnants of old mistakes, and you must sense the seriousness of this separation. For many lose momentum not because the door is closed, but because they attempt to cross while still holding the weight of regret, shame, and self-condemnation. And those burdens are not only unnecessary, they are incompatible with the atmosphere of destiny awaiting you. So I am commanding you with urgency to drop them now, to let them fall like stones from your hands, to refuse to carry into the future the debris of what no longer defines you, because if you step in carrying yesterday's failures, you risk contaminating today's freedom, and I will not allow the fragrance of grace to be mingled with the stench of guilt, for the past has been dealt with, the record has been erased, the accusations have been silenced, and I am giving you a clean slate as you cross this threshold. But you must actively agree with it. You must choose to release the narratives you've told yourself about being unworthy. You must decide to believe what I say about you rather than what your memories shout. And this is urgent because time wasted rehearsing old pain cannot be recovered, and opportunities waiting on the other side cannot be stewarded while your hands are full of self-punishment. So unclench your grip on the past, open your palms to receive the present, and walk forward light, unburdened, free. For you cannot plant new seeds while clutching dead weeds, you cannot hold fresh water while gripping old ashes, and you cannot embrace the new garment I have woven for you while clinging to the rags of former defeat. And I am saying this now because even though I have removed the guilt, the enemy will try to slip it back into your thoughts, whispering that you are still marked by what you did, that you still owe for mistakes made. But I tell you, the debt is paid, the slate is cleared, the stain is gone, and the only way it can follow you is if you carry it. So refuse to carry it, refuse to rehearse it, refuse to let it define your identity one day longer, because this threshold is an atmosphere of new beginnings, of fresh assignments, of pure vision, and the residue of failure cannot survive here. And as you walk forward unburdened, you will find that clarity returns to your mind, creativity awakens in your spirit, strength rises in your body, because guilt drains energy but grace restores it. And I want you to experience the fullness of that restoration, to walk in without the weight of self-blame, to step into freedom as one who knows they are forgiven, equipped, and chosen. And this requires urgency. Do not wait for a feeling to confirm it. Act on my word now. Release it now. Leave it now. For the door is open, but it demands that you travel light. And if you obey, you will cross this threshold unshackled, and on the other side you will discover how much further and faster you can move without the heaviness of yesterday, because where I am taking you, the labels of the past have no authority. The accusations of the past have no standing. The failures of the past have no voice, and the shadows of the past have no power. For I have cut the cord, I have sealed the wound, I have erased the record, and I have said to you with urgency, go forward without carrying what I have already removed. Amen.